everybody. I'm Stacy.
And I'm her daughter, Mickey.
And welcome to KiddieNomics! Yay! I have no sound effects today, so sorry. Sorry, everybody. All right, welcome to KiddieNomics. Honestly, I am so happy this week. We have back Miss Billie-Jane. She is back on KiddieNomics. She is one of our favorite guest experts that come on KiddieNomics. We love when she's on because it is always fun times, but it's always so much education and information that you guys learn. So I'm super happy to have her back. Okay, and this week we're going to be talking about how to fund your dreams. So your post-secondary dreams, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. Okay. All right, so before we get started, let me share my screen. I know a lot of the kiddies are already saying hi in the chat box. So hi, everybody. All right, so welcome to KiddieNomics. All right, so all of the new kiddies that have joined us this week, welcome. If this is your first time, put it in the chat box and say it's your first time. The kids will always welcome you. And if this is your upteenth time on KiddieNomics, thank you so much for always returning week after week to KiddieNomics. We love you for being here. So thank you so much. And so what is KiddieNomics about? Like, why are you here every week? What do you do? So KiddieNomics is here to help kids ages 8 to 13 to develop a healthy relationship towards financial literacy, helping to start kids off on the right path to have a successful financial future. That's what we want for you. That's what I want for her. That's what she wants for me, because I learn here on KiddieNomics. I learn a lot. So, and I know that parents and grandparents and aunties and uncles and all the other adults that may watch with their kids in the room learn on KiddieNomics. So we learn every week as much as you guys learn. So thank you. And that's all due to our experts that come on each and every week. So thank you to all of our experts. All right, so let's get into some of the housekeeping items. Should we do roll call first and then do housekeeping items? All right, let's do roll call. All right, so in the chat box, especially if you are new, roll call is, I want you to tell me which country you are joining from today, joining us from. So Renelle is Canada, Akira is Canada, Layla is Canada, Micah's from England, Martine is from Canada, Adonis is from the USA, Layla is from Jupiter and Mars. So I don't know, like, do you jump, like, do you hop between the two? Tulu and Ibby is from Canada, they said. Mustafa, Canada. Oh, it's your birthday tomorrow. Hold on. Somebody said it's their birthday. Oh, Ngozi, it's your birthday tomorrow. Maybe you can have a happy birthday. Yes! Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
All the kids wish Ngozi a happy birthday in the chat box. That is so awesome. We wish you the bestest birthday tomorrow. We hope you have a fabulous day and you get all the presents that you've been wanting. All right, let's see. Who else do we have? Oh, okay. Melanie, Alicia. All right. Jenna, Canada, Anne, Canada. Leaf and Blake, Canada.
What about
Brielle, Canada. Mickey, where are you from?
the volleyball club?
The volleyball club. The volleyball club.
It's from Haikyuu.
Haikyuu, yes. All the anime fans out there. Mickey is part of the club, the anime fans. All right. I think, Ngozi, you got a whole bunch of happy birthdays, so I hope we made you feel very special on KiddieNomics, because that is amazing. All right, so let's get into some housekeeping items. Thank you for doing roll call. That was awesome. Happy birthday again, Ngozi. That is so awesome. All right, housekeeping items before I forget. All right, so housekeeping items are, please remember that we cannot see or hear any of you kiddies. So in order to chat to us, you must chat to us through the chat box. So if you do raise your hand, which is fine, please remember to type your question into the chat box, okay? So you can raise your hand, but follow that up with the question in the chat box, okay? Also, please remember that we love to keep a safe, healthy, happy, fun times on KiddieNomics, but keyword being safe. And we want to make sure that we never share any personal information about yourself on KiddieNomics. Like, I'll ask you, okay, what country you're joining us from, but I never want to see any of your personal like addresses or email addresses or ages. Never your ages, never your phone numbers. We don't want to see anything personal really about you in the chat box. The chat box is there to ask and answer questions. I know a lot of you kiddies have been on KiddieNomics for a while, so you may be familiar with some of the names that you see, and sometimes you guys do have little conversations. But just remember to always keep it safe and healthy on KiddieNomics and never share any personal information, okay? And please remember, every single KiddieNomics webinar is recorded. So in case you join late or you have to leave early sometimes, or you may have missed this week, always remember that every KiddieNomics webinar is recorded, and I do post it on our KiddieNomics YouTube channel, right? YouTube channel by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Friday. So you can always watch back this webinar and all of our other webinars that we've ever had. They're all posted on our KiddieNomics YouTube channel. So if this is your first time, don't worry. You can always catch up on our other past webinars on the YouTube channel and just pick the ones that you find of interest. But every webinar is really self-contained for you to learn about that specific topic, all about that specific topic. So you don't have to have joined last week to understand this week. It doesn't continue on like that, okay? So never worry about that. Okay, all right, so enough of the housekeeping items. I always feel like, oh, it's so much. Let's get on to our special guest expert, because she's one of my faves. I love her a lot. Miss Billie-Jane Bolton-Rojo. She is a financial specialist helping individuals, families, and business owners build a financial legacy. I love that. Her pillars involve creating a knowledge legacy with the gift of education and RESPs, protecting legacy with personal insurance, and enhancing business legacy with strategic insurance solutions. She is a mom of 3 awesome kids, helping to teach them financial literacy skills. So just as much as she's teaching you guys out there, she does teach her kids too, which is awesome. So we'd like to give a big KiddieNomics round of applause to Miss Billie-Jane. Hi, Billie-Jane. Thank you for
Hi, guys. Oh, my goodness. I am so excited to be back here with you guys. It is always such a treat to spend my time with you and to share some of the wisdom and things that I've learned and some of the work that I do and share it with the kids, because you guys are such keen students and you take what I share, you take what all of the different teachers share, and you get to file that in and start using it today and also plan for tomorrow, which is what we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about preparing for tomorrow and your post-secondary dreams, which I'm super excited about. Okay, it's just sometimes it's so hard navigating all these controls, so bear with me as I move things around. So I'm going to show you how you can fund your post-secondary dreams. When we're done, you will be experts on scholarships. You know that Stacy talked about how I love to help families with financial literacy, but I also love to help families come up with other strategic solutions for their kids to pursue post-secondary. So scholarships is one thing we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about work opportunities and something that a lot of people never think about, armed services. I'll touch a little bit on that. And I'm also going to talk about the Osap program. So I saw so many Canadians on the chat. This is a program really for Ontarians, which is one of the provinces in Canada. That's where we live, where I live, where Stacy lives. We are pretty local, and so I know a lot of the things that are happening here. But the information that I'm sharing, it can be useful for you to ask some questions in whatever jurisdiction you're in, okay? Because some of this stuff can be pretty transferable. So before we get into anything, whenever I talk with the kiddies, when I talk to anyone, I love to first talk purpose. Okay, because that is what we're rooted in everything that we do. So what is purpose? I got this dictionary I've got a definition from a dictionary. Purpose is the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. But let's get real world. What does that mean to you? Well, purpose is the reason for which you were created. So you, Mickey, why were you created? I want you to start thinking about that. But you know what? I know what it's like as a kid. And listen, not just as a kid, even grown-ups, we're still scratching our head trying to figure out what that is, right? What is our purpose? Well, there are lots of clues that you may have, right, that you're given. One, think about your passion. What are the things you love to do? Okay, think about your gifts. What are all those gifts that are wrapped up in you? Those are some clues about your purpose and why you're here. Okay, so we're going to keep talking purpose. Now, I want you to be bold. Don't be shy. Okay, we're going to talk openly about our passions. We're going to talk openly about our gifts. We're going to share. We're going to be proud. We're going to celebrate each other. Okay, it's the reason why you're here. And these gifts are given to you and you alone. Mickey, there's no other Mickey. Okay? Only you have the gifts that have been given to you. And why were they given to you? Not for you just to tuck them at home. Okay? They're for you to change the world. And this is what your mom and you guys are doing. You are working in purpose. You guys are changing the world. So each one of you kiddies on, in KiddieNomics, you guys are changing the world. And this is why we're doing this thing. And so during this talk, I want you guys to think about it. Think about your purpose. Think about what you love to do. Think about what your gifts are. So we're going to get into some dreaming. So I love these images to get you thinking about dreaming. And I want you to tell us. I want you to pop it into the chat. Okay? What is your purpose? What do you want to do when you grow up? Come on. I want to blow up the chat. I want to hear about, if Stacy, if you can share with me, because I can't see all of it, but I want everyone blowing up the chat. Tell us, what are you good at? What are your gifts? What do you want to be when you grow up? Let's hear it.
So Layla says she loves drawing. Rosie says, I want to be a doctor. Tracy says to be an accountant. Jenna says, I want to be a doctor when I grow up.
I love that.
And Akira says to be a singer and a dancer. Oh, she's probably going to be a triple threat and maybe actor too. That's awesome. Ngozi said doctor again. Oh, Brielle says I want to be a scientist. Yay. So
I
awesome.
love it.
So awesome. Melissa says a doctor. Ngozi, you want to be a doctor and a soccer player? Yeah, that's what it is.
Why not?
But you can get a sports scholarship and
hey.
So we may talk about that today.
Look at that.
Renelle says I want to be a lawyer. Layla, doctor. Oh, Tracy says I love doing math.
Oh.
For Ngozi. Madeline says either draw art or sell it online to be a YouTuber.
Yes. Sorry, who was that?
That is from Madeline.
Madeline. I love that, Madeline. Oh my gosh. These are amazing.
Awesome. So next week, Madeline, we're going to be talking about how to start an online store. So that will probably love that one for next week.
That is so good. See all this amazing content that KiddieNomics offers. It's so amazing. And the things that I'm even going to be sharing, you're going to have to go back and check some of the other videos because you can tap more into the details about those things. But I love it. I heard things that I've got noted in here, like artist and doctor. I heard that somebody loves math. Maybe you want to be an engineer. Okay. Like there are so many things that you can do. And I love that. Now, to pursue your career though, whatever it is, you want to pursue your gift, you got to step out in excellence, okay? In order to do that, you need to hone your talents. And one of the ways to do that is to use post-secondary education. Now, there's different kinds of post-secondary education. You have to choose what type of education matches your gift. You want to be a doctor like Ngozi? Then you need to go to university, okay? So you want to consider that. For anyone else, let's say who wants to do drawing, let's say you want to be a chef, college can help you to do that, right? For anyone who wants to, let's say, be a plumber or an electrician, okay? Trade schools are that. So there are different types of way that you can pursue post-secondary, but you need to hone your skills, whatever it is. You need to step out in excellence, okay? So I want us to do a little bit of math and start thinking about this because we're talking about funding your dreams. So it's important to be aware of how much it'll cost for you to hone your skills. So I've got an example here. Let's say you need to go to trade school because you want to be a welder, okay? It costs about $18,000 to do that, all right? Colleges, they range depending on the kind of program that you want. It could be $4,500 for 1 year, it could go up to $8,200 for, for another type of program. So it really varies. But just to give you an idea, for those of you who are on your tracks to university, okay, I heard lots of doctors and scientists, okay, on the line, all right? When you pursue university, just 1 year of university today costs about $11,000. It's not cheap, okay? So if you go to school for 4 years, right, let's just say it's about 12,000 for a mathematician on the line. 4 years at 12,000 each, we're looking at 48,000. But we're not going to school this year, right? Mickey, you got a few years to go, and I know a lot of you kiddies have a few years to go. So when we think further out, it's going to cost a bit more money. So we're thinking by 2030, which is 9 years from now, it'll probably be about $14,000, almost $15,000. So for 4 years, we're looking at about $60,000. Don't want to freak you out about those numbers, but we do need to think about it because we're figuring out how we're going to fund our dreams, okay? And we're not going to get freaked out about those numbers. They don't mean anything because we can do anything we want to do, okay? I'm seeing stuff in the chat. I don't know. Let me know if there are any questions. I'm seeing the blinking. So let me know if there's any questions, Stacy, and I'll pause. All right. So when we talked about the cost of education, why is it so much? Holy cow. Because there are different things. There's the program. The teachers are going to teach you. You got to pay for that. That's called tuition. Okay. You've got other school costs, like maybe at the school they have hospitals, or maybe they've got student services to help you. All these things cost money. So that's part of the cost. You got all these books you need to carry. Okay. And you know what? You might need to be using transportation to go to school. And guess what? School is not just for learning. School is also for fun. So, you might have some personal care, things that you need. Okay. Look, these people are having fun at the theater. Okay. So you want to be able to account for all of that so you can learn and have fun. So how are you going to pay to develop your talents? All right. We saw those numbers. We're not getting freaked out. Your parents may have already planned ahead. Okay. And they may have something here in Canada. We've got a program called the Registered Education Savings Plan, which is an RESP. I know I saw somebody in the chat from the US. The US has a program there. I don't know the name of it, but they have a similar program just for parents to save for their kids to go to school. Okay. So if your parents have money to go to school, that's awesome. You've got a head start. Okay. So it's awesome to think about that. So we need to keep that in mind. But what if it's not enough? Don't worry, you got this, okay? There are other things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about scholarships, okay? We're going to talk that you can work for some money, okay? Scholarships will pay you, work will pay you. And there's other things like student loans, okay? There's one I'm going to talk about, which is OSAP, okay? You can borrow. I don't like my kids to borrow too much, and I'm going to show you a creative way that we can get around that because we don't want to have a lot of debt. That's not how we want to step out into the world, okay? But we can leverage some of the money that's out there. So let's talk scholarships. That's the first thing I want to talk about. So first thing you need to do, make a list, not a Christmas list. Yes.
So maybe we should ask the kids, do they know what a scholarship is? Do you know what a scholarship is? What's a scholarship?
It's when you go to a school and the school pays you.
Yeah.
Very good. Schools pay you. There are organizations that pay you to go to school because they celebrate you and whatever you're doing, okay? It could be that they're celebrating your academics. You've done really well and they want to encourage you and support you in your dream. Organizations may celebrate something unique about you. Maybe there's some volunteer type of activities and this organization really loves to support that. So that may be a reason why they'll give some money, okay? So there are lots of organizations that love to support kids that are excited about pursuing their dreams and they want to help them make it happen. So what I want to talk about is how you can tap into those extra monies, okay? Somebody had a saying that you can, when you guys are older and you're ready to embark on this journey, that you can consider looking for scholarships as your job. That pays you a really big return, okay? More than, let's say, working at what we have here in Canada is a coffee shop called Tim Hortons, okay? You may make more money from scholarships than you can from Tim Hortons. So something to keep in mind. You can make scholarships, looking for scholarships, your job, okay? And it'll pay good dividends. So what I want you to do is make a list, all right? Not a Christmas list. We want a scholarship list, okay? Now, there are different places we can go to figure out our list of scholarships that are out there, okay? Scholarships that'll get you money. You can think about, where did mom and dad work? Because you know that some companies offer scholarships for their employees' kids. Okay. You might even think about what organizations that your parents may be affiliated with. They may offer scholarships. Okay. There may be products that your parents have that have scholarships. Like there's some insurance companies that offer scholarships for kids who go to whose parents have insurance with them. Okay. Or RESP companies that have scholarships for kids who have RESPs with them. So ask parents, where do you work? Who are you affiliated with who have scholarships? What organizations match up with your interests? Okay, because there are some organizations, as I said, that want to pour into what you're doing. There are scholarships for women. There are scholarships within your specific community. Okay, whether it's religious community. Yeah, go ahead.
So Madeline wants to know, Madeline, I'm going to rephrase your question a little bit, but I understand what you're trying to write. But she really wants to know, like, she doesn't want to do what her mom and dad do. So could she get a scholarship if it's not in like their career fields?
Absolutely. I want you to always focus on what you want to do. When I mentioned think about where your parents work, it's not because you're going to work there. It's just that the company that your parents work for, they may put money aside to help their employees' kids go and pursue their dreams. Okay. So it's important for us to tap into that. But Madeline, I want you to go and jump into the world and be who you were designed to be, okay? And we're going to use scholarship money to help you to do that, all right? So you also want to think about the school, because the school that you're applying to, just like Mickey said, schools will offer scholarships too, okay? Some of them, they'll just give it to you because as soon as you apply, they see you did really well. Others you need to apply for, okay? Are there any other sources? This is where you're going to have to hit the computer, okay? Because there could be other sources. I gave you lots of really good clues to start, okay? But if after that you still need to find other sources, the numbers are really low. I don't know, Stacy, if you want, like I can share these links with you to share with families, but there are a whole bunch of links that you can go into directories on your computer and search about scholarships. So I got a whole bunch here, okay? There are some for, let's say, the Black community here in Canada, for instance. There's something for women, okay? There's general scholarship portals, all right? I've got a whole bunch. There are kids who want to keep going to school after they finish their first schooling and need money. There are scholarships for them as well. So there are so many resources. As I said, I can share some of these, and Miss Stacy can post it so you guys can tap into this, and you can look into this when you're at that age to start looking. Yes.
So if you can just send me an email with all these links, I will post all the links in the description box on this YouTube video. So anybody watching this back, you can always I do a lot in the description part of the videos for every single video. So you will find all of the links that Miss Billie-Jane has posted here for anybody whenever you're going to watch back this video to be able to go back and visit, okay?
Awesome. This is amazing, okay? That KiddieNomics provides all this information, and you've got even more content. Just check out the description box. That's so awesome. So let's say we put our whole list together. Then where do we start? We got to prioritize, all right? So you want to think about, I got this guy with his face in the clock, okay? Because scholarships, you have to apply by a certain deadline. Yes.
Hi, sorry. A couple of the kids say that they're confused. So I just want to clarify, what are they confused on? So Akira, can you let me know? Ronell, you say you're confused too. And Tracy, you say you're confused. Are you confused about the links for the scholarships? I just want to know so we can always go back. I think is anybody else confused? Let me know. Okay, so Akira, we're talking about scholarships. Okay.
Just in time.
Okay. Yes. So you guys were in radios. Okay. So Yes, we are talking about scholarships. We're talking about ways that we can fund our dreams. Scholarships is one of the tips I'm going to share with you. Okay. And we're going to dig a little bit more into scholarships. I want you guys to feel really good that you can do this, because so many kids think, oh my gosh, I can't get a scholarship. Yes, you can. So now you guys are going to get exposed to that ahead of time, so that when it's your turn to start looking, you're like, I got this. Okay. So when you got your list, yes.
Okay, sorry, last question.
Yes.
We want a clear definition as to what is a scholarship.
A scholarship is a resource for you to access money for you to pursue your education. So it is for scholars. That's the root word of scholarship, to go to school. So there's money out there from so many different organizations that want to invest in you pursuing your dreams and going to post-secondary education. It could be for different types, okay? So that's what scholarships are for. And there's so much money that's out there for kids to tap into, and a lot doesn't get claimed. So me sharing this information is going to help you guys to go and get those dollars, okay, to help you to go to school.
So it would be free money that somebody would, an organization or a company or a school could give to you for you to attend post-secondary education, which is college, university, a trade school, something like that.
And yes, there are so many different types of post-secondary education. I was on a list with a parent whose daughter wants to pursue dance, and she found a dance school that she wants to go to. So scholarships, as Ms. Stacy mentioned, it's money that different organizations, they could be schools, they could be companies, they could be foundations, they put money aside just to give or donate to people, to kids who are worthy to go on to pursue some type of post-secondary education. Okay. So that's what I want you guys to tap into. So sorry, going back to that, we want to make sure, because now we got a list. Remember I talked about, there's a whole bunch of scholarships can go on our list. We can ask mom and dad. Mom, Dad, does work have a scholarship for kids to go to school? We got to start with there. Mom, Dad, are you affiliated with any organizations that have money to go to school? Okay, I mentioned things like insurance companies or RESP companies, okay? And then you would ask, are there any scholarships related to the things that I love or that are specific to me? Okay, so that goes on your list. And then you're gonna hit all of these websites I mentioned to add to your list, okay? Once you put them all together, we got to figure out where to start. You got to prioritize, okay? So you can prioritize by how much money you'll get, because not all scholarships pay the same amount. So how much money will I get? You definitely want to prioritize by the deadline, because they all have a deadline that you have to apply. Yes.
Layla would like to know, what does prioritize mean?
What are you going to put first? Okay, so you've got to put them in order on what you want to tackle first. Prioritize from the word prior or priority, which is first. So you want to put them in order on what you want to tackle first, and then second, and then third. And you want to think about a few things. How much money are you going to get? Are you going to go for something that's going to pay you a lot of money first? You definitely want to put something ahead that is due very soon. The deadline is soon. So these are things you want to think about as you prioritize. So I love it. You guys learned a new word, prioritize. All right. So what do you need to do? You got your list. You now know where you want to start. What do you need to do? The scholarships have different things that you need to do to get this money. You don't just get it for free. You got to work for it. They want to know about you. They want to know what you do. So maybe they want to know if you volunteer. Okay, so you want to take a look. Maybe they need some volunteering experience. So you want to check that out. Maybe you're an artist. I heard an artist on the line, people who love to draw, okay? Maybe they want to see the kind of work that you do. So you might have to create a portfolio. Or maybe you're a musician and maybe they want to hear you play a song. So you got to figure out what song you're going to play. You got to get ready. You got to understand what they need from you in order to be successful. So these are just a few ideas, okay? They tell you all of the information in the scholarship application. That's how we apply for scholarship. So they're going to tell you everything you need to do to be successful. Okay. So the other big thing They want to know about you. They want you to tell them in your own words all about you. How are you going to do that? First, they want an essay. They want you to write all about you, and they want you to write it really well. So you want to have an amazing introduction to introduce them to who you are. You got to tell them something special that attracts their attention from the first line when they find out about Mickey. Okay, all right. So your introduction is important. Next, you got to share the details, back it up. Okay, give them all of the reasons why you are so awesome. But then we need to give them a bang conclusion and remind them why you are the only one who should get this scholarship, okay? So you need to have a strong, we call that a conclusion, to remind them why you stand out. So that's what you need to think about. What's really important in a scholarship application is your essay, so they get to know who you are and your personality from your essay. Yes.
A couple of the kids want to know, what is an essay?
I'm using all these terms. You're learning so many words today.
No.
An essay is really a write-up of not just who you are, but of any subject. So an essay is when you can write about something and really explain it with quite a few words, not a sentence, not one paragraph, usually at least 5 paragraphs, healthy paragraphs that explain what you're talking about. So in this case, the essay is about you. That's usually what they want to know about, all about you. So you're going to have to write about who you are, and you want to start off, introduce yourself. It's like, hi, I'm Mickey, but you're going to say something really jazzy so that makes them stop and read more. And then you're going to give them all of the details. I play volleyball. I got all A's in school. I did this. I did that. You're going to explain the details about why you're awesome. And then we're going to wrap it all up with a conclusion to remind them. Okay, the conclusion is your summary about why. I'm just reminding you why I'm awesome. Okay, and you got to tell them that. So you needed to have a really strong essay. Okay, see this little kid? He's doing his essay. All right, now we talked about you telling them who you are, but they want to know what other people say about you. They're going to ask for something called a letter of recommendation. They want to know who recommends you, who's your cheerleader, because we all got cheerleaders, okay? So they're going to want to hear what your cheerleader has to say. So you can talk to your teacher to be your cheerleader, and your teacher can write a beautiful note about how awesome you are. Yes.
So Micah would like to know, so is it like a personal statement?
More than a personal statement. An essay is more than a personal statement because it's telling much more. It's telling a story about who you are. Okay, so it's like, you know, a good healthy write-up about who you are. All right. So right now at your age, you guys may not have had much exposure to essays, but once you get into high school, your teachers are going to teach you how to make a really good essay about anything you want to talk about. In this case, we want to talk about us, but yes, it is much more than a personal statement. They want to know who you are, and they want to know all about you and your background. So we're going to write up a lot more than just a statement. Okay. Yes.
Orilua wants to know, like, what is a cheerleader, or who are they?
Very good question, because, you know, and I forget that not everyone is from here and knows these terms. A cheerleader is somebody who will cheer for you. Rah, rah, rah. When you watch a football game or a basketball game and you see the girls dancing with the pom-poms, we call them cheerleaders because they cheer the team up, they cheer the audience up, and there are people in your life that cheer you on so that you will be successful and you will win. So I like to call them your cheerleaders. Okay, so we got lots of cheerleaders. We got teachers who are cheerleaders. Of course, our mom and dad are our biggest cheerleaders, but the scholarship team, they want to hear from other people. They know mom and dad are going to say awesome things, so they want to hear from your teacher. Your teacher's an awesome cheerleader. Have you been volunteering? Talk to the volunteer leaders. They're your cheerleaders. They can write something about you. That's so amazing. And employers, did you get a job? Were you really awesome at your job? You can ask your employer if they can write a letter of recommendation to cheer you on, to help support that awesome essay that you wrote about who you are, but so they can support that, yeah, Mickey is awesome, okay? So that's what we want. We want a letter of recommendation. So once they do all of that, they're gonna wanna meet you. They may want to meet you, okay? Now, there's a time before COVID, of course, they wanna meet you in person if they can. You might go to school far away. They can't meet you, but then they'll meet you online. Okay. So they will want to meet you and get to know you in person, get to see your personality. Okay. So some of the things we need to think for when they want to meet you, they want to interview you. We call that an interview. When you get to meet somebody and have a conversation, they can ask you questions, you can answer. That's an interview. So they may want to see something called a resume, which is something that is also telling your story, but not in such a nice words like an essay. It's just, kind of cut and dry about who you are. And you know what? I know that on KiddieNomics, there was a session about resume writing. So you want to jump into that, okay? And it's got all of the tips that you can be successful in writing a resume, okay? So you got your banging resume. Next thing, they're going to want to meet you. They're going to talk to you. See this little girl? They got the microphone because it's going to be her turn to talk. So you want to practice answering questions. And I know on KiddieNomics there was discussions also about getting jobs and all of that stuff. So listen, all of the stuff that I'm sharing with you, there are other videos that can help you tap in and get all of the details. We're just pulling it together that how you can use it to make some money for school to fund your dreams. Okay. Question. Yes.
Yeah, so I'd just like to add to what Miss Billie-Jane has said. It's great. Remember I said that all of our webinars are not really connected. So it doesn't matter where you start with KiddieNomics. This could be your first one, or it could be like your 20th one. But always remember that the KiddieNomics YouTube channel houses all of our videos. So yes, we have talked about how to write a resume on KiddieNomics, and that was with Miss Jane. And then we also did how to prepare for a job interview, and that was also with Miss Jane. So if you go back on KiddieNomics onto our YouTube channel, you can look up those 2 videos. I think she's done 3, if I recall, but you can go back onto our KiddieNomics channel and just review like what is a resume, because it's not just to get a job. You will need it for things like this, for scholarships. So it's important why also that we have such a vast array of topics on KiddieNomics. So it is focused on financial literacy, but all these things, do you see how all these things kind of play into each other? Because right now we're talking about scholarships, but resumes is another important thing when we talk about scholarships. And that's something that we've also had on KiddieNomics, okay? So always go back to our YouTube channel and you can watch those videos and all of the other ones, okay? So thank you.
Yes, see, listen, you guys are in the best place. This is awesome. And as Miss Stacy mentioned about bringing it all together, and now we're going to take all this content and we're going to go get some money. Okay, so so I love it. All right, now you got to think about how you show up. Okay, because they're gonna want to see photo. They might want to see a photo. You got a good photo? I don't want to see a photo of like deuces. No, we want a nice professional picture. Okay, so you want to have a nice photo of yourself. You got to think about how do you show up online? What does your social media look like? Okay, there are things like TikTok and Instagram and all of the different platforms, right? Snapchat. Even Google itself, if they Google your name, you want to make sure that when they search up stuff about you, they see only good stuff. So you want to think about how you show up. You want to think about what information you posted. You want to think about what information you shared. You want to think about information. There's a program called Twitter. I'm not sure if kids are really into that, but as you get older, you might. You want to think about things that you retweet or reshare. These scholarship teams, they're looking at about everything about you because they're serious about where they send the money. So we want to make sure we take a look at all of our online presence and make sure it's on point. Okay, so that's a key thing to think about. What about your email? My daughter told me she came across an email called alienfrogshinobi@hotmail.com. That is not the email we want. We want your first name, dot, your last name, let's say at gmail.com or at yahoo.ca or whatever, but make sure your first name dot or your first name underscore your last name, make it clean, okay? We don't want I love Goku at yahoo.ca, okay? We want professional email addresses, okay? Because you are stepping out in the world for someone to give you some money. They want to know you're serious, okay? So you're going to put everything together. We talked about you figuring out all of the work that you did, whether you volunteered or you put a portfolio together, whatever the requirements are. You're going to put your essay, which is your story about you. Make sure it's got a banging intro to say, hi, I'm Nikki, and you need to stop and read my essay. And you need to make sure it's wrapped up with a conclusion to remind you, hey, you just read my essay and I'm awesome, okay? Then you need to have your letters of recommendation where your cheerleaders support your essay, okay? And you got to have a good resume to support it if they need it. You want to have good photos. You want to make sure you've got a clean online presence, and you want to package it all together, put a staple or a paper clip, put it in the mail and get it there before the deadline. That's your job, okay? And wait for the money to come, okay? So that's what we want. And then you rinse and you repeat. You're going to do it again. You're going to go to the next scholarship on your list, because remember, we don't just have one, we have a whole list that we put together, okay? Was there a question? We're good?
Let me see. Any questions? No, there's no questions typed.
Okay, so I just want to take time. I was going to share a lot more. I think, Miss Stacy, what we'll do is I'll come back and share a little bit more. We'll just focus this specifically on scholarships because this was such good conversation and I want to be cognizant of your time, okay? So we're going to figure out how much we need. We're going to do this together. Normally I like to play a game, but you know what? We're going to do some math together because I don't really have a game, but still, I know I heard mathematicians are here. We're all going to be mathematicians today because we're talking money. We want our money, okay? And we need math for our money. So remember I said, if you wanted to do you wanted to go away to school, you want to do university, and you want to go for 4 years, I said it costs about $60,000. Oh, seems like a lot, but we're going to conquer this, right? So first, we ask mom and dad, do you have an RESP for me? Let's say mom and dad has an RESP for $10,000. So school costs $6,000. Mickey, help me out. I have $10,000 from an RESP. How much left do I need? It's $60,000. Mom and dad has $10,000. How much more do I need? $50,000. Awesome. I don't think I was going to put in the answer, but I don't think I can do that. So $50,000. Good job. I don't think I can do that. It'll move the screen. So I'll just make note 50,000. And now but Mickey, you asked mom, you asked dad, does your company have a scholarship? And let's say dad says, yes, Mickey, we have a scholarship. And you were so good, you applied. It was for $5,000. You got it. Okay, so now we need $50,000, but you got $50,000 from your dad's company. They gave you a scholarship. So how much left do you need to get?
So we got 5,000. Let's ask the kids. So
let's ask the kids.
Scholarship from
we have 50,000 left, but we just got 5,000 from our dad's work.
That's 55,000.
No, less.
Oh, the other way. We minus
45,000.
Good job. 45. I hope everyone is putting in the chat 45,000.
Godswill 45. Mike
yes.
45 for now. 45. Ibia said 45.
Good. Now, so you just need 45,000 next, right? Like that's what you have left. But you did super well in school. And when you applied to the school that the university you wanted to go to, they said, you know what? Good job. We're going to give you $10,000 over 4 years. Whoa, that means you got another $10,000. So 45,000 we said we need. We just found out from school they're giving us 10,000. How much do we have left that we need to get?
35,000.
Go on, Mickey. You're going the right way this time. That was quick. 35,000. Mickey's liking reducing this. This is what we're doing, okay? Then you applied for another scholarship from an organization. Let's say it was an organization for the Muslim community, for instance, okay? And they said, you know what? You did such a good job. We want to give you $1,000. That was an awesome application. We'll give you $1,000. How much left do we have to get still now? We just got an extra $1,000. We said 35 was what we had left. We just got another 1,000.
So all the kids are saying, Anne says 34. Micah says
yes.
34. Brielle 34.
Yes.
So 34. 34.
Awesome. Do you see that? This can help to fund your dreams. Okay, so we're going to stop here, but you can keep going because remember, you've got a list and you're going to go through your list and knock them off and get that money. Okay, so let's see, what else do I have here? Oh, I just wanted to quickly touch on any student athletes. Any athletes in the house? I know Mickey's a volleyball player. Any other? Oh, I remember, was it Ngozi said she's going to be a doctor and a soccer player. Okay. Any other athletes in the house? Guess what? You can use your athletics to be able to pursue your dreams. Because guess what? They offer scholarships too. But I want you guys to remember that you are student athletes, which means you are a student first. Student first and foremost, okay? So I want you to do your best in school, okay? Do the best you can. You are a student first, but yes, use your athletic gifts and go get some money, okay? Because there are athletic scholarships because schools love to have strong teams and they want to get strong athletes on their team, strong student athletes on their team, okay? Because they will also provide academic scholarships. Academic scholarships means scholarships for marks for how you did in school. They'll give you those too to help fill any gaps if there are any, and you can get something called a full ride, which is what we're looking for. We want our full education paid for, that we don't have to pay a dime from our own pocket. Okay, so I think that, you know, at this point oh, and then I did talk about, just touch on artists. We talked, remember Miss Stacy said you guys have an upcoming session about how to open up your store. Any artists in the house, let's get to it. Let's start selling some art. Let's start selling some things that are that we're really gifted with. Okay, so tune in next week to learn how you can make some money to help fund your dreams. This young man is very happy to take $5 from this gentleman. Okay, that will help to pay for school. All right. Okay, I'm just thinking, Miss Stacy, I mean, we're at 5:47. Do we want us to keep going? I do have a little bit more. We can schedule another time to continue on. You let me know.
Why don't we? Is
Keep
it a lot
going.
more? No, like, because we could do another.
Well, you know, okay, let's see if we can get through the rest of this. Okay, we're gonna keep this moving. Okay, we're gonna still be within our time. Independent schools. This is another one I want to plant in your minds. Now, this is more for mom and dad who's on the line. Independent schools are what other people call private schools, where you have to pay to go to school. Here, at least in Canada, there are most of our schools are, we don't have to pay for it. The government helps to fund all of that, so our kids go to school and mom and dad don't pay outright. Okay, but there are schools where mom and dad do have to pay outright. Now, these schools, they have a very strong academic environment with some unique and even customized learning experiences. So this is really cool. Now, it's a great opportunity to network at these schools because you meet with a lot of really different families with different backgrounds. But I want to let you know, there's opportunities for financial aid to go to these schools. So you're not in it alone, parents who are joining us. But kids, you got to be prepared for assessments. They want to make sure you're ready to go to their school. And mom and dad, you need to prepare as well financially to help, because the financial aid may not pay everything. But I want you guys to know that this is an opportunity for our kids, because guess what? There is a very high success rate for kids to go on and pursue post-secondary education. Okay, so that's something that's open to you. Got a few more ideas? Work! Okay, and I know that there's been talks on KiddieNomics about, you know, getting work. Look, we talked about resume writing and interviewing and things like that. You can work. I don't suggest when you're going to school working at the same time, just because it's hard. It's hard to focus on different things, but definitely go and get a part-time job in the summer. Go and work in the summer, or part-time job if you need to during the year, but get a job. It helps to pay for school. I did that. That's what helped me to go to school, but you got to be prepared. So don't wait until you have finished school to start applying. Start applying for schools, for work early, so that when you come out of school, you've got a job lined up that will pay you some good income. You don't need to work at Tim Hortons or at McDonald's. You can get some really good job opportunities if you prepare, okay? There's something called co-op. This is an interesting word. This is for when you're in school, there are some programs that build in work with it. So if, let's say, you are going to school to be an engineer, they may have in their program 1 year that you go and work as an engineer, as a student engineer with a company. Take advantage of those opportunities, because guess what? You get paid, and 2, you get experience. So when you finish school, you can actually call some of these people if you've done a good job, and they'll hook you up with a job, okay? So co-op is something to think about to help fund your dreams. Do you have a question, Miss Stacy?
No.
Okay, and then I just wanted to plant a seed about armed services. Here in Canada, I'm sure in the States as well, because I know we have people in the US, when you are part of the armed services will help you to go to school. They have maybe even their own universities that you can go to school at. So consider that. That's an opportunity to have your education funded. And in the armed service, they need all sorts of jobs. They need doctors. They need lawyers. They need musicians. Any musicians in the house? They need therapists. They need optometrists. Because you know what? The armed service is just like its own community that needs everything. So they will help you to go to school in anything that they need, okay? So that's an opportunity to consider as well. Student loans, we have a program called OSAP. The only thing I want to tell you is that a portion of the OSAP, which stands for Ontario Student Assistance Program, that's where the government will give some money to help you to go to school, but you may have to pay some of it back. That's why they call it a loan. So you have to give some of it back, and they may charge interest. You guys learned about some of these concepts about credit and borrowing money. So we don't want to borrow much money, but what's really cool in our OSAP program, a portion of it, they say you don't have to pay back. So if you're going to take OSAP, I encourage you to only take the portion that they said that you don't have to pay back. Leave the rest. We don't want debt. We don't want it to affect credit, okay? So go and tap into that other discussion about credit so you can understand why, okay? So we did it! Quiz time! Okay, we've got 2 minutes for quizzes. Yes.
Before we start with quizzes, Miss Billie-Jane, Melanie wants to know, what is the difference between a college and a university?
Good question. Here in Canada, we do have different types of institutions. Universities are usually institutions where you will spend 3 to 4 years in school. It's very school, like book heavy. You learn a lot from the books, and you will get something called a degree. Okay, and that's what they call what you come out of university with. Here in Canada, we have a separate distinction called colleges, where they may offer different programs where you come out with something called a diploma. Now, with the colleges, they offer different programs that may have books, but they have lots of hands-on activity, which is very different from what you get at university. It's so confusing because in the US, I have to be honest, I don't know the difference between the two, because in the US, I hear them say university, but I hear them say a lot college. And when I see the colleges, they look like universities here in Canada to us, okay? But here in Canada, colleges are different from universities in terms of what kind of accreditation you get when you're all done. You might get a degree for sure at a university. At a college, you'll get a diploma. Some may offer degrees, but generally we think of diploma and we think hands-on learning. Okay, so that's the difference. So let's get into quiz because I'm looking at the time. Okay, well, let's get into the fun part. Okay, tell me ways to fund your post-secondary education. What do you think? Scholarships. Ask grandma or grandpa. Work opportunities. Which one is it? Which one do you think are the ways to, do you know what? My question is the reverse. Which way do we not This is the opposite. I'm sorry, which way do we not want to fund our post-secondary education? Just think not. I forgot to write it. Scholarships. Do you not want to fund your dreams with scholarships? Do you not want to ask grandma and grandpa? Or do you not want to work? Which one?
B.
What do you think?
So Mickey says B, but let me see what all the other kids say. So Leaf and Blake say B. Tracy says B. Arilua says B. Brielle B. Cheryl B. Sorry, what is this? Brielle B. Karen B. Let's see. So Jenna says B. I think they all say B. What's the
Good job, guys. And you know what? There's nothing wrong to ask grandma and grandpa, but what I want to do is to teach you how you can do this yourself, okay? Without having to burden anyone else, because you can do it. Now, consider yourself a student athlete because you are student first. Is that true or false? Do you consider yourself a student athlete because you are student first? What do you think, guys? True or false?
So let's see. Mickey says A, true. Cheryl says A. Madeline says A. Brielle A. Ronell, I forgot what name you said to call you. Anne says true. Karen says true. Jenna says A. I think all the kids are picking A. Cheryl says A. Yeah, Micah says A. Yep.
Good job, guys. True. You are a student athlete. You are a student first. Yes, we need KiddieNomics clap. All right. We're talking about student loans. Remember we said OSAP. Does all OSAP have to be repaid? What do you think? A, yes, or B, no? Does all OSAP have to be repaid, which is our student loan program? Does all of it have to be paid back to them? What do you think? Yes or no? A or B?
So all the kids are saying B, which is awesome.
Woo! Good listeners.
All the names. But you guys all said B.
Yes, you guys are good listeners, okay? We want to focus on that. When you apply for scholarships, check how you look on TikTok. Check how you look on Snapchat. Check how you look on Instagram, or check how you look on Google, or all of the above. What do you think?
Google.
What do you think? What do you need to check on? When you apply for scholarships, go online and check. Should you check TikTok? Should you check Snapchat, Instagram, Google, or all of the above? What do you think? What are they saying?
Saying E. All of them are saying E, so I can't read all the names, but everybody says E.
Awesome, guys. You guys are such good students. One last one and we're done. What's the most important way to fund your post-secondary dream? What do you think? What's the most important way to do it? Is it to dream about it? A. Is it to talk about it? B. Or is it to prepare and do it? Which one? A, B, or C?
Mickey says C, and all the kids are looking in super fast, and everybody's saying C.
Woo! You guys are awesome students. I know that, we're at time. You guys asked lots of questions throughout, so I think we're good, but you guys were awesome. I love sharing this with you. So that brings my little presentation to an end.
Well, that was absolutely awesome and phenomenal. I think all the kids learned so much today. So thank you, Miss Billie-Jane. We had an awesome time. Sorry, I'm losing my voice today, so I apologize, everybody. But yeah, Brielle says this was fun. Ronell says thank you. Jenna says this was awesome. And the kids are saying thank you, awesome. So thank you. Let's give a big KiddieNomics round of applause. Thank you very much, Miss Billie-Jane. So I will wrap up. So if you guys hang on for another 2 more minutes, and I will share screen. Okay, so let's get on. Okay, final question. What would happen if kids became more financially literate? And our answer is
real change that impacts the world.
Real change that impacts the world. Why? Because the more you guys dream ambitiously with whatever it is that you guys want to do, just knowing financial literacy will only help you in achieving whatever your goal is. And so, maybe the next KiddieNomics kitty will, be the first trillionaire in the world. You never know, or will be the first person that cures COVID, if COVID is still around. Hopefully not. But you never know what you guys will be able to do. And just financial literacy will help you do whatever it is that you want to do, and we're here for you, okay? All right, so speaking about being here for you, we love to call you Young Financial Literacy Ambassadors. You guys are our ambassadors. And what does that mean? An ambassador is an authorized messenger or representative. You guys all represent KiddieNomics out there, and I get the messages from your parents and you know, and your like friends, or you guys will message and tell me how much, like, you were talking to your cousins and you told them all about, you know, what is a credit card, or what did you learn about RESPs with Miss Billie-Jane, or, you know, you guys share your knowledge, and that's what being an ambassador is. Because why on KiddieNomics? Because knowledge is our superpower, right? Knowledge is our superpower. So share it, right? The more that you share it, the stronger that you will literally become, because you're going to hone in those skills and know that you truly understand a lot of the concepts that you've learned here on KiddieNomics. So we love you for being our ambassadors out there and just always representing KiddieNomics in such a great positive light. I love to hear the messages from you or your parents. So thank you so much. All right, let's get into the weekly schedule. I'm going to open back up the chat. Sorry, one second. Let me open back up the chat in case there is anything else. Okay, let's get into the weekly schedule. So we're down to Miss Billie-Jane next week. As I was saying, on Friday, May 7th, we have Mr. Andrew Day. He'll be back to talk about how to start an online store for kids, which is awesome, because I know we have a lot of kiddiepreneurs on KiddieNomics, and I highly encourage entrepreneurship on KiddieNomics. So we're going to talk about, you know, how do you guys build an online store to sell a lot of the things that you guys are creating? Like, I know a few of you guys are comic book illustrators, and, you know, you may have your own clothing line, or you guys have written your own books, or whatever it is that you have a little hobby in doing, which is amazing, and getting your little your side hustles on, which is I guess what it is. But you guys, a lot of you have a great entrepreneurial spirit, and I truly encourage that on KiddieNomics. So we're going to talk about how can you guys start making some money on an online store by selling the stuff that you guys make. I think that would be phenomenal. So we're going to talk to Mr. Andrew Day. And then after that, we're going to be on Friday, May 14th, we're going to talk about business and corporation. So with Miss Alistine Simon. So Miss Alistine will be back. She was first on, and we talked about sole proprietorship. So that just means if you are a single person and you start your own business, it would be a sole proprietorship. Now we're going to talk about what it is to incorporate your business. So that one's a really important one. So is starting an online store. So all the topics are important. So that's what we have for the middle of May. And then, of course, after that, we have Miss Marcy Ian. We are super excited to have Miss Marcy Ian on KiddieNomics. She will be on Friday, May 21st. So a lot of you may know Miss Marcy Ian from The Social, which is a national syndicated talk show here in Canada. She is now a MP for the Liberal Party. And so we're going to talk to her about the power of pivoting. This will be another edition that's going to be more of a Q&A, so question and answer. So I'm asking everybody to please send me your questions that you would like to ask Miss Marcy Ian. You can either email me at kiddienomics101@gmail.com, or you can leave your question in the chat and I will mark it down to ask Miss Marcy Ian. Please, if you do email me, always remember to email me with your parents' permission, okay? Never email me without your parents' permission. Okay, all right. So we're gonna wrap up. Sorry, my voice is like almost gonna be gone. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up. I always want to hear from you guys, always, always, always. So if you have any topics that you would like us to cover, I know a few of you, will message me and say, hey, I'd like to learn about this. So when you message me, I do go find an expert for the topic that you've raised. So please send me your suggestions, because we have 52 Fridays to fill, right, in the year. So there's a lot of Fridays for you guys. All right. So the more suggestions I get, and it just helps me know which topics you want to learn more about, right? Because there's topics, a lot of them we've already covered, but I will always cover them again and again and again. But you know, it helps me also show which topics are really important to you to make sure that we always cover it. So, and you can always email me at KiddieNomics101, but please, if you do find our information valuable, please like and follow us on
Oh yeah, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Okay, I think I did commit to having a TikTok video done by the end of May, right? So I have a month, Miss Billie-Jane, to get out a TikTok video that has taken me a year to do, but I'm gonna do it. We will have a TikTok video out by the end of May. I don't know which one it will be, so we'll see, okay? But anyways, thank you, Miss Billie-Jane, for joining us today. You were phenomenal. Thank you to all of the kids. Can you find an expert for e-commerce and drop shipping? Ah, that's interesting. Okay. Thank you, Michelle. That's an interesting suggestion. I will look into that one. That one's awesome. All right. So everybody have a fantastic week. I will see you next week about how to start an online store. Have a fabulous week and an awesome weekend. Happy birthday again to Ngozi. And bye. All right. Let me stop sharing the screen.